Things always work on the third try, right? Grab a couple pieces of quartz. Oh, that's a good one. All right. Thank you for this day. It's a beautiful day. Let's rejoice and enjoy this time on planet Earth. There she is, the little explorer. Lady herself. Third time is a charm. I hope this one gets recorded. Today's talk is about ego. Where's it come from? How do we deal with it? I guess she's going to be a follower today. This world really seems to be driven by ego nowadays, in so many shapes and forms. There she comes. And it causes so many problems, but aspects of life seem to reinforce it. So anyway, what I wanted to get on this video is kind of a new concept for some people. Mentioned in the last video, or the first video, that I enjoy, recently I found and I enjoy this channel called I Am Ray. And Ray is R-E-Y. Humorous person, love what they're putting out. He wrote a book and talks about the monster mind and how to control the monster mind. Come on, lady. Boy, she's getting a lot of sniffs in today. So the monster mind that gets us to do and rationalizes many things in life. And to overcome that. Things have opened my eyes to a lot of circumstances in life towards or regarding that. And science right now is starting to explain it all. Now I kind of got on this kick 25 years ago and slowly developing and figuring it out. But a year and a half ago there was a PBS Nova special called Our Brain, Who's Really in Charge? And it really highlighted what I've been starting to find for myself and things that work. So knowledge about the gut biome is getting widespread, and we all know probiotics and this, that, and the other thing. The PBS Nova special really started to highlight that the mitochondria and other biological forms of bugs, for lack of a better term, within the human body. Bugs are in all our cells, all our organs, in our gut. And they're finding out that a person's inner dialogue, hopefully you understand when I say inner dialogue, it's our self-talk within our own cranium. Now they're starting to find out that the bugs are a big part of that self-talk. And those bugs are our fight or flight responses. Step off the gravel, maybe less noise. But our fight or flight responses are those bugs reacting to the emotional chemicals that we give out. One example is if you're ever watching something and it shows great heights or somebody at a great height, and your gut just turns like crazy and reflects as to what you're seeing. Whatever chemical you sent gets the bugs all nervous and lights up that flight response. I've been a rock climber in the past. I've dealt with great heights, but I still notice certain things. If I watch a video where somebody's climbing a great big tower, my gut will just turn over it. And it's just interesting response, because my essence, let's call it my spark, is fine with it. And pardon me, detour. Hi, Lucy. Thank you for this day, Lucy. Thank you for the help you've given me in the past and the enlightenment you shared with me. Thank you so much. We'll get into the story of Lucy some other time. So we're finding out that the bugs within us are our flight or fight responses. They're part of our inner dialogue. And now here's the next part. They are a big part of our rationalizations. And the one example I use all the time for it is, for years I would swear off McDonald's. No, I'm never going to go there again. I'd set up, a rule. And a month later, I'd be in the drive-thru line and I already ordered. I was like, wait a second. I swore this off. I was never coming back here. What happened? What didn't I have a grip on? And, thinking about, okay, what got me in here this time? I rationalize it somehow. I've been good for a while, I can get away with this, or I'm hungry, just let it go, or some other rationalization that would override that rule. And again, it's the bugs in our inner dialogue looking for chemicals. And I swear I don't know MSG or what, but you know, I swear McDonald's put something in their food so the bugs crave it beyond belief. Because that's the hardest fast food. I can pass on every other fast food, but for a long time McDonald's there's something in there that just the bugs enjoy or want. That's chemical based, so that's all they run off of is chemical based. So anyway, let's start with this story here. I started smoking in 5th grade. Me and Tom Otis found 2 cartons of Camel Straights, and we smoked them all. And I had smoked ever since that. Now, I was 59. I spent a year, and this was still back before I understood as much as I do now about the bugs, but I was going to change something. I was going to get rid of the bugs I had and bring new ones in and retrain them. Let me detour back to 25 years ago. Something happened that really enlightened me on something about the bugs. So, through the 80s and 90s, I had heartburn all the time. Always carried Rolaids or Tums because it just all the time had a heartburn. I'd lay on the floor and just roll because it was so bad. And I had gone to the hospital and had all the checks for ulcers, this, that, and other, drink the barium, have the x-rays. Nothing. Doctors came back, we can't find anything. So, in 99, 2000, I had moved to Seattle. And where I'm from didn't have much for spicy food. Spicy food was just to add more black pepper. So I really got into the Mexican, Latin culture there with spicy food. And this one restaurant that I favored, they had a habanero sauce that was, so good. I still wish I could get some of that. I would leave every time sweat pouring from my temples. Within a few months, I started noticing that I never needed the Rolaids or Tums anymore. And for a while, as long as I had hot, spicy food at least once a month, never had the heartburn. And, whatever it was, nobody knew. I didn't know. But later on in the early 2000s, somewhere between 2004 and 2006, there was a news article that, they found a parasite you can get from dairy that will live in your gut and cause you all sorts of heartburn issues. Okay. So, eating spicy food got rid of that parasite? It was the first indicator, and that was a long time ago. So an ex-partner I had was all about the gut health and probiotics and stuff, and it led me down that trail. So now, back to a few years back, I was 59, just coming up on 60, so I wanted to quit smoking. I wanted to change a bunch of things. And I got this crazy idea that I'm going to go for a year just eating crazy hot food and a better diet. A lot of vegetables. And my big thing was boneless, skinless chicken breast in the air fryer, and then douse it in like 3-4 hot sauces. Hi, lady. But along with that, I was doing a lot of probiotics and kombucha and yogurt, and bringing new bugs in, burning the old ones up. So it made a huge change in me. My inner voice changed. One thing I talk about the inner voice is we all have echoes from the past. Negative things people told us to keep us in line or keep us, whatever in our place or in our situation. And I had tons of those echoes of the past, especially from my father. And just very negative things. And they would pop up all the time, just, I'm trying to do this, and no, you don't, you can't, you don't have the power to blah, blah, blah. I really noticed a change in those negative echoes of the past. They weren't around so much anymore. Less and less and less all the time. So, after going through that, I quit smoking cold turkey. And realizing that the bugs are first the negative talk, second the rationalizations. The one thing that helped is I had popcorn every once in a while and kind of helped with the hand-to-mouth thing. But yeah, just cold turkey. And it really was fairly easy once you had a mindset that the rationalizations, the negative self-talk, that inner part that screaming they want the chemicals, your spark, which I like to call your higher self, could override all of it and ignore it. And it really wasn't that hard to quit. And then I've been around smokers. Being around smoke doesn't bother me. Or other smokers doesn't bother me. It totally went away. And I've been amazed with it. I have no desire, no fallback. And I didn't from the start. But I first cleaned out a lot of old bugs, and I brought new bugs in, and I retrained them. I know it sounds pretty crazy, but nowadays we're understanding so much more, and it's a real thing in my life, and I'm trying to share that. What we feed our gut directly affects our thoughts. And you can change it. You can get rid of all those old negative thoughts and voices. And even my fight and flight has changed tremendously. I used to, get gut reactions to all sorts of situations, and that's even changed. I've always been an introvert. The quiet one in the background, nervous to make any noise or anything like that. It's just, growing up under my father, it was, the beatings will continue until morale improves. Well, morale never improves, so the beatings never quit. Just one of those things. Every one of us is walking our own path. We started in our own place. It was meant for us to learn the things we learn. Now the next thing it's really helped me with, without all that negative dialogue, I'm so much more grateful for every day and everything I have. I don't have a ton, universe has taken good care of me in a lot of ways. Given me a beautiful dog to keep me company. I don't own a house, but I'd like to someday. But it's not major. My stuff is older and I maintain all my own stuff, so it works out good that way. I don't have to have new everything and fancy anything. Very happy where I am. And changing those bugs out really made a difference in that. What you doing, kid? Oh, she's got a sniff something. Are you coming? Oh, must have been a good sniff. What a beautiful morning. Right now it's still in the 60s when we left. So, ego is really driven by all the self-talk, the echoes of the past, the things that we repeat through our head all the time. So, somewhere in these talks, I'm going to start talking about, I'm striving to get to the next level, whatever you want to call that level. And part of it is finding it here during your existence on this planet flying through space. We're all connected. We're all made of the same stardust. There's all sorts of old teachings that'll send you one way or another, but let's just look at the current situation. We're walking on this beautiful planet, and if our mind can only see past all the distractions and all the things of our past, we really can see the beauty in it, and that is finding heaven on earth. I think I said in the first video I came from a very fundamental evangelical background. I was raised Christian, still deeply believe in a lot of it, but my father used to say, well, there's 10% truth to every lie. Okay, that makes sense. So, even the Bible, if you look at it, there's 10% truth to whatever's in there. A lot of it, I heard the other day that, some people in the government want everything to follow the Old Testament. It's like, wait, it's called the Old Testament for a reason. As the Old Covenant, the New Covenant with Jesus is the New Testament, and we should be living by the New Testament. The only commandments Jesus spoke of in the New Testament is love God, love your neighbor. Love the universe, love your neighbor, love everyone. Even me, I'm having a tough time with the orange one. And hopefully you understand when I say the orange one, the orange painted face one. How do we find love for all that? Not sympathy, but just, love them without any doubt or any distractions or conditions. I'm still working on that one. because it represents so many things that my dad was. So even the hard stuff, we gotta find a way through. So back to what I was trying to get to is, I still hold true aspects of the Bible. I'm finding myself studying more and learning more that I fall more into the Gnostic category, where the Gnostics ask one question: is God of the Old Testament and God of the New Testament the same God? And when I thought about that question, I had to answer, no, it's not. They're two different gods. One is a jealous and vengeful God and seeks to have you sacrifice things that are true to your heart. Lady, hang on here. Wait. So anyway, that's one of the Gnostic things, is disregard the Old Testament, because that was from a false god. And Jesus was trying to tell us about the right God. Lady, stay. Lady. Someday she has selective hearing. Lady, stay. Lady. Lady, come on. Come on. Stay with me. Come on. Stay with me. I know you're a social... She is such a social creature. She loves meeting people, and she's very social. And out here in the cemetery, we want to give people their space. So, this is just another talk. Well, walks with Lady. If this can only touch a person or two and be helpful, that's all I could ask. I'm never going to put any ads up for this. I'm not the type to write a book. Best I can do is walk vlogs. I hope it does help people. We're starting to understand so much more. And this whole anti-woke thing is insane. The more enlightened we become. The God of the Old Testament wants to keep you dumb, wants to keep you worshiping only them. God of the New Testament is of a different nature. We are supposed to learn, grow, elevate our position, and educate ourselves. This whole thing of staying dumb is so insane to me. Why would you want to stay dumb to the world that's around you because someone told you you had to have some very old, antiquated rules? By the way, something to think about. So the Cathars were Gnostics. And again, they didn't believe in the Old Testament, they only believed in the New Testament and Christ. And I say Christ, not Jesus. Jesus was a man that had Christ within him, but we all have Christ within us. And we need to elevate the Christ within us. So the Cathars are what the Spanish Inquisition was about getting rid of, because they didn't agree with the Old Testament that kept control over people. The Old Testament is really there. Oops, that's a nice piece of quartz. The Old Testament is designed to keep people underfoot, under control, and uninformed. New Testament is not. So the Catholic Church went out after the Cathars and killed every one of them, or converted them, to try to get rid of that thought and that idea. Now, along with that, research I've done shows that the Old Testament was not included into Christianity until the 1500s. And they used it as a way to control congregations. As if we followed just the New Testament, it's not the same thing. So anyway, I pray that this has been recording. Let me check. Get this off. Woohoo! It has been, thank goodness. Well, hopefully this was good. I'll catch you later.